tall man, mightily shouldered and deep of chest, with a massive corded neck and heavily muscled limbs. His brow was low and broad, his eyes a volcanic blue that smoldered as if with some inner fire. His dark, scarred, almost sinister face was that of a fighting man, and his velvet garments could not conceal the hard, dangerous lines of his violent limbs. Looked like a man, a guide to curing bacterial manginosis. What's up, folks? This is Justin Garcia, a.k.a. Master Chim, and I'm here with the Look Like a White Man, Patrick Kelly, White Boy Pat.
What's up?
And welcome to another episode of The Pressure Project. Now, for your knowledge and benefit, that was an excerpt from a Robert E. Howard novel, and he was describing a certain gentleman
Who?
by the name of Conan.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. So
He's pretty cool.
he's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So look like a man. Today we're going to talk about something that I was inspired to share, a talk with,
Yeah.
or talk on, based on a couple of different things. Number one, I saw a weightlifting, a strongman video that I shared a couple of days ago on the Master Chim page,
Very cool.
and it was a bunch of strongmen lifting the Sear, named after Louis Sear dumbbell, which is a 274-pound dumbbell,
Shit.
and just man shit. I actually think that was the description I put for the share.
Yeah.
Um,
Just man shit.
And I also came upon an article written by a Stephen McDonald, and it was on pjmedia.com. We'll put the link. And the name of his article was Why the New Counterculture Should Make Strength Central to Its Identity. And great article, not a long article, short article, had a couple of video clips.
Yeah, it was good.
Talked about some great stuff, and brought up the topic of, we should be strong, we should look strong.
Agreed.
And looking like a man is looking strong. Looking masculine is looking strong. Strength is part of the sort of necessary, grouping of components that make up a manly look.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
So they say dress the part, right? You go on an interview, everybody wears a suit. You go on a date, everybody's, dressed to their best ability. They're putting forth the best representation of who they are. Well, being strong and looking strong is something that goes hand in hand with being a man.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a man if you don't look like a man.
That's very, very true.
Right? So the article by Stephen McDonald touched on a bunch of different points, and I'll let you guys read the article. We're going to link it. A couple of things that he was talking about in the article was how somebody who looks strong, somebody who is strong, they usually think strong.
Yeah, that's true.
And a strong mindset has somebody sort of make strong decisions being those decisions that allow somebody to explore their own goals, their own aspirations, the sort of fulfillment of who they are as an individual. And they're not as easily swayed by the pressure of the masses to become assimilated, to conform, to at the very least stay quiet and subjugated and not cause too much of a stir.
Yeah.
So one of the things I love about the article is that it starts to link and creates the conversation, begins at least the conversation of, the physical connection to our masculinity. Is it, I would say it is, but is it one of the beginning stages of what eventually leads to a masculine lifestyle, a masculine mind, a masculine life?
Yeah, I would say it does.
A masculine legacy.
Yeah, 100%.
So in the article, he touches on these things, and we're not going to stay within that article tonight, but or I guess this morning when people are seeing this. I don't fucking know. We released the thing at 6 a.m.
Yeah, we
We
recorded
released
close to 6 a.m.
We almost recorded close to 6
Yeah,
a.m.
pretty much.
But we released a video at some point during the day, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later.
Listen,
It is
it
what
goes
it is.
where it goes.
It goes where it goes.
The
So
link,
it's-
though, from the email will work.
Right,
And so will it on the show notes page. So the
Right.
video is still available
right.
if you go on the website and click on
Right.
it.
So that's one of the things I didn't mention. ThePressureProject.com is our website. Info at ThePressureProject.com is our contact email. We've been getting more and more interesting emails as of late, positive ones, a overwhelmingly positive group of emails, concerning the video
Yeah,
podcast now,
which is cool.
and
Which is recording right now.
right, because you're making sure.
Yeah,
right?
because I'm nuts.
So I always said that I had a face for TV, despite people telling me I had a face for radio.
That's funny.
So the participation has certainly gone up. A lot of our listeners still listen by way of the audio podcast, and we obviously encourage you guys to continue to do so. But let's get into today's talk. So
Cool.
I had you research, or I guess re-research, because we had touched on this in our marketing episode.
Correct, yeah.
The sort of evolution or the de-evolution of masculinity
Yeah.
as a representation to society, and how it's been altered,
Yeah.
and how it's become more emasculated, as time has gone on.
Unfortunately, yes.
And the best representation of that we found was in the brawny man.
Yeah, the
Right,
brawny.
so we're gonna freak them out right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some magic. You ready?
Yep.
So the brawny picture is right here. Watch.
Boom. Nice.
I just pulled it off the screen. Did you see that? Make that shit work somehow.
I will.
I've known.
I
So
think you should give it a little longer, but it's all right.
I should.
Yeah. Put it back.
All right, I'm gonna put it back again. You ready? Tell me when I can take it down.
No, now let's talk about it. Like a guy, you see the
I'll
guy,
leave it up.
the original guy is on the left, the brand new brawny guy's on the right.
Right. So you can see a bunch of the differences
Yeah.
between the two of them. And the guy on the left is the guy that started it.
Correct.
He was the guy that, when they first said, let's think of a representation for masculinity, brawny, brawn, manly,
Yeah.
to sort of imply that their paper towels are robust. Let's think of who that's going to be.
Yeah.
And it was the love child of Kenny Rogers and Chuck Norris,
Yeah, pretty much.
right? So it's a pretty manly fucking dude.
It's Chuck.
They started
Chuck
splicing
Rogers.
cells. Chuck Rogers. Awesome. Right? Chuck Rogers. See how the way that works?
Yeah.
But now if you look on the right, you have like metrosexual man. You have the guy,
Yeah.
like he could be a lot of people, this guy.
He can.
He could be the guy who
They even took the trees out. If you look
yeah,
at the small.
they took the trees out. So this is now the business guy that wears the plaid shirt on the weekends. His trainer obviously has him on GH
Yeah.
and a little test.
His CrossFit trainer.
Right. He could be straight. He could be gay.
He's ambiguously gay.
It could be a woman,
He could be a woman. Yeah.
Like it's a big chick, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you can see obviously what everybody's idea of masculinity is now is one that's non-threatening.
Yeah.
That's not really too sort of confrontational. It's everybody's man. This guy could fit into any household.
Yeah.
Single, married, gay, straight, corporate, retail. This guy could be anybody.
Yeah.
This guy could sell you a shirt.
He could.
What retail shirts they got? I haven't gone
I
to
have
a
no
store.
idea.
They
Gap?
still got the Gap, right?
Yeah.
That's right. So this guy could sell you a sweater at the Gap.
Yeah, easily.
That's a Gap lumberjack shirt that they sell
It
in
is.
Christmas time.
So you think you could take him down?
Right. All right. Take the picture down.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Huh?
Pretty
Huh?
good. Getting
So-
crazy.
Getting crazy. So with that picture, you see visually what's happened over time. Now, what was the timeline on these two things? Do you remember?
No.
So
I think the 70s and then now.
right, the 70s. So
Yeah.
we're talking 30, 40 years. Jesus, fucking 40 years.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. So 30, 40 years ago, and what's transpired since then. And we know that there are a whole slew of reasons why business, which I would argue is the real engine of conformity.
Yeah.
Right. It's business. And as much as I do have a strong sort of free market, capitalism minded philosophy, when it comes to how I conduct myself business wise, I also understand that without a strong culture, people are consumed by the sharks.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that I won't do on principle. And it has nothing to do with popularity. It has nothing to do with, let's think of some examples. I don't wear like name brand shit, like the Nike, the Jordan, all this shit. I don't wear fucking jerseys from sports, which is almost like a different reason. But I don't wear things that that are meant to visually impress other people.
I only wear shirts that we make.
Right. So, and like right now I have on my hoodie that I wear all the time. It's fucking always freezing in this office. And remember, I'm only half white. And and what do I have on under here?
I don't know. Tough Mudder.
Tough Mudder shirt. I got on my Tough Mudder shirt.
Yeah, cool.
So I earned this motherfucker.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Mount Snow. Almost had a fucking heart attack. Was marching along. Did what I had to do.
Yeah, you did it.
So
I don't know where mine is.
So the thing is though, we're not people that sort of follow, what's popular.
True.
I had a BMW at one point.
Yes.
Drove great. BMWs drive great.
Yeah, it was a sturdy.
But I felt like half a fag.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I felt like I bought it because it was something that I thought was, supposed to represent, a business person who was successful, and I was letting all these other people define what I saw as success.
Yeah.
I remember I had spoken, I'd done a bunch of public speaking through the years, and I was at an event where I allowed myself, because it's my fault, I allowed myself to be convinced that wearing a suit allowed me to reach a certain audience that I wouldn't otherwise, reach.
Yeah.
And the worst fucking idea of my life. Like, it was bullshit.
Mine don't fit me anymore.
Yeah, well, mine, we got some good ones too.
That's just not going to fit.
Yeah, so the whole thing is, I got rid of the BMW.
Yeah, and fucking upgrade, because the new
Django
one,
is fucking serious.
that's you.
Right. And that's exactly right. That's exactly what I did.
Yep.
I said, fuck this. I want something that I like that I could use. The damn thing's never clean. Like it is,
irrelevant.
My Wrangler, I got my Wrangler.
All fucking
35-inch wheels, fucking
shit's
lift,
fucking
like
legit.
rock sliders, like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Man Jeep, as manly as Jeeps can be. Always wanted a Jeep growing up.
Yeah. So
I bought it. So fuck that. I also vowed I will never wear a suit again.
Yeah.
In my life. I will never wear a suit again in my life.
Ever.
Fuck you, suits. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're not the norm, though.
No.
And I'll say part of what allows us to sort of take these positions, to sort of live by these principles, whatever they may be, not these specific principles, but principles that are our own. It's based in a sort of slew of habits that make up who we are and what our lifestyle consists of.
Yeah.
I think at the forefront of that is strength. The
Agreed.
forefront of that is, we are people who, when you look at us, we don't look like these androgynous little fucking salamander people.
No.
Where they like these guys just wiggle fucking through. They wiggle through the streets like you don't know what the fuck they are. Are they men? Are they women?
We saw one the other day, because we were in the city. Me and Master Anthony getting the live stream thing.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a guy crossing the street, and it was like, oh, all right, that's interesting.
Right? It's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
And what winds up happening, we'll talk about a group of people that this always happens with.
Yeah.
Later on, but what winds up happening is when you start criticizing a man's sort of appearance in terms of strength, it gets misconstrued by, I guess, otherwise agenda-driven people. I guess we have to acknowledge we have our own agenda, which is just men being stronger and being more masculine. But you get the homophobic, brush that we get painted with.
Yeah, of course. Which is too easy. It's
too
one.
easy, and it's just really, it's like lowbrow. It's like, no, right? Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah, no.
We don't care if the fucking guy's gay. It's nothing to do with it. And then you get not everybody is like you, and everybody, has their own preferences, and everybody, well, okay, I'll concede that to a certain point. The problem is that you now have the data, right, to sort of show what that type of lifestyle, that type of thinking, that type of mindset brings us. True. And it brings us the weakness that I think the entire fucking world, at least America, is suffering from.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So, I remember when I was younger, right? And I grew up, playing sports. I played baseball, football, I wrestled. There was always the competitive, sort of arena that we always found ways to create.
Yeah.
So if it was a football practice, it was who's going to finish the drill first, who's going to have the best time, who's not going to drop a ball today, who's going to get the hardest hit during practice.
Yeah.
Who's going to fucking get on the field first, who's going to fucking leave the field last, who's going to not get penalized, who's going to, we always found ways to compete. We always found ways to sort of create struggle, create pressure.
Yeah.
And we allowed there to be this sort of atmosphere of struggle that wound up being, I would argue, a crucible for resilience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when you talk about strength, right? Lifting weights.
Yeah.
Lifting weights makes you strong.
Yeah.
I commented on the time when I bought Mjolnir, right? That's the name of our 200-pound kettlebell.
Which is awesome.
And the first time I bought it, it got delivered, and I put it out, in the pressure pit. And, the guys, that were there, it was like during the evening, a bunch of people, what's that? 200-pound kettlebell. That thing's 200 pounds. Yeah. So you see the guys, and it's like, I just sat back and watched this.
Yeah.
Everybody just started gravitating towards it. The first guy tries to pick it up, 2 hands. One guy picks it up 1 hand. The first guy goes back to try and lift it up 1 hand, can't do it. The other guys laugh at him. They bust his balls.
Creates like
They want to use my hand to do it, like the jokes start. Oh, it's fun. No, it's too slippery. They're getting chalk, getting stickum spray. They're spraying fucking
wraps.
Adhesive on their fucking hands
glue
to get it. But it became an entire thing just by taking this weird weight, and putting it in the middle of a bunch of men.
Yeah, everyone wanted to give it a try at least.
So it's who we are. Now, obviously, a little bit of a skewed sample, where, these are people in my school, my students. But it's something that I could, anecdotally support, with my experiences since I was a boy. Young men, we looked for ways to vie for, I don't know if it was dominance, seniority, hierarchy. I don't know what it is exactly, but we wanted to be respected.
Yeah.
And being strong and looking strong is an easy way to do it. It was like the beginning stages of a process that we're still, experiencing.
100%. We're still in the process of perceiving that process.
Right. Right. There you go. So
I was throwing that out.
You a
there.
fucking rapper?
That's right.
All right. So that's right.
They call me Blacktop.
So what we decided to do was create a list. We love lists.
Lists are good.
It makes everything concise, organized, gives people shit to argue with.
Lists
debate.
are good.
So, and you guys can feel free to change our list, put your own list. I always share when the episode goes live, I always share it on the MC page.
Yeah.
Which you can find at masterchim.com. That puts you to my Facebook page. Put your own list there. I'd be eager to see it.
Yeah.
So we decided to create a list.
Went with 5 this time.
Went for 5. The top 5 reasons for looking like a man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So looking like a man, what does that mean, Pat?
Looking like a man.
I mean, we've been talking about all these broad topics and stuff, but specifically, meat and potatoes, what does looking like a man mean?
I would say looking like a man means that it's the outward personification of your masculinity. It's not, I can tell you what it's not. I would say it's not dressing. Well, I don't want to, actually, you know what?
Yeah, you're going to
I'm going to fuck up the list.
How about I'm going to define it?
Yeah.
Because you're just,
I'm already jumping ahead. At least I caught myself.
You did.
Yeah.
All right. So it's progress.
Yeah.
So you want error.
Yep.
Error,
I was like, 1, 0, 0.
So looking like a man, it means looking like you could do manly shit.
Yeah.
Looking like you're ready to slap somebody if necessary.
Yep.
You're ready to pick some shit up if it's heavy. You're ready to help somebody that needs help. A damsel in distress, if you will.
Sure.
You look like, you're a guy that doesn't need any help.
You wearing flip-flops?
You're ready. You're definitely not wearing flip-flops.
No?
You're definitely not wearing flip-flops.
Not in public? Not in the street?
No, not at all.
Understood.
So I wear flip-flops inside the school.
Sure.
Sometimes I wear flip-flops out to the store. Want to know why?
Why?
Because I wish a motherfucker would.
You want to see? Look, he's finally wearing flip-flops. Let's give it a shot.
And now's your shot.
Take a shot, motherfucker.
They don't know. I got fucking Puerto Rican sand feet.
That's actually a real thing.
It is,
just so everyone
100%.
knows. Puerto Rican sand feet.
I'm kicking nipples off of chests with the bottom of these fucking feet of mine. So
nice.
So we have the top 5 reasons for looking like a man.
Yeah.
And we're doing it in a designed descending order.
That is correct.
Starting with 5. So sometimes our list, the order doesn't matter. This one, we're starting with 5. We're counting down.
For a reason.
For a reason.
Yes.
Because people like it. Number 5. Get it, cracker.
You don't look like a woman.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
You want to look like a man because, number 1, you don't want to be mistaken for a woman.
Yeah.
If men and women look alike,
it's called androgyny.
And it's like you start to lose the essence of what being a man is.
True.
If you're going to be a basketball player, try to make it to the NBA. If you're going to be a race car driver, try to be the guy that gets fucking NASCAR, gets a NASCAR sponsorship.
It actually makes you think of that commercial. If you're going to do it right. The guy comes out, he's got the oven mitts on for MMA gloves.
Right.
Like if you're gonna fucking be a NASCAR, you have to wear the fucking suit.
Right.
You're not gonna wear a basketball fucking jersey.
Right. So you're totally just like mixing up my fucking hypotheticals now.
Yeah. I'm taking what you did and I'm going like.
That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
You even took my criticism of what you're doing and fucking.
I mixed it up. Listen, it works.
So I said, so you're taking what I just said and you're, putting it together. And you said, I'm taking what you said and I'm mixing it up.
That's right.
So
we're back in agreement.
So right. So here we are.
Yeah.
So the point is, if you are a man,
yeah,
you should embrace that as part of your identity. And, when we talk about identity, RPS, right? There is ritual in being a man.
There is.
And part of it is making sure, as a litmus test, as a box to be checked, no pun intended, not looking like a woman.
No one should look at you and go, I don't know.
Like, what is we should have, like, there should be like a measurement, like in distance. How far away we have to be from you before we think you could be a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be interesting.
There's some motherfuckers that'll stand right in front of you and you're like, say something.
Yeah.
Like, say some shit. Say, go get the fuck out of here. Say that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's a test you can have them check their shoe. Something's on the bottom. I think you stepped in something. Depending on which way they look at their shoe.
Oh, yeah?
You can tell. If they do like the reverse, like
like they're looking in their back pocket?
Yeah, that's not usually
that's
a guy.
Some fag shit?
Yeah. Well, it's or a girl. It's just a girl that looks like a guy.
Yeah, I'm so fucking heavy. I just take my shoe off.
That works too. So that's practical.
So So I'm thinking of a story. Bear, right?
Yeah.
A friend of ours, Vic, passed
Bear.
away. Miss him terribly. He used to say, talk about shoes, it reminded me. He used to say you could always tell when a big motherfucker's shoes are there. And I asked why. He said, because it's always tied on the inside, like, of the shoe. So like the inside of the shoe, like between, that's where it's tied. And I said, why? He goes, tie your shoes. I put my foot up on something. I went to tie it. And he's right. I can't lean over my leg. I gotta like lean to the inside. So it's like we're all tying our shoes on the inside, almost breaking our fucking knee tendons to do it.
That's funny.
Right. So that's my shoe story that I thought.
That's good.
So
and with Bear, you could tell he was a guy from probably like the moon.
Oh my God. Like
Great Wall of China.
For him it's different. It's like, are you a guy or are you like a fucking Neanderthal?
Should I run?
Right. Like what dimension are
what's coming towards me?
Fucking Turok. He was a big motherfucker.
That's funny.
So number 5, you don't look like a woman. Number 4.
You don't waste time being harassed.
Right. So a couple of different applications of this. Number 1,
yeah.
Panhandler sees a little skinny jean faggot, sees a dude that looks like, he's about to go do some shit. Panhandler, the beggar, the bum, they call him homeless, the fucking bum loser that lives on the streets, he is going to bother the little skinny jean fag.
Yeah.
So
residents challenged.
Right. So residents challenged. So you have the whole, people that walk around fucking with people, they fuck with the people that are fuckable.
Yeah.
In that context.
True. It's true.
And that's what you get. Like I look like a fucking psychopath when I'm walking around. By design.
Yeah.
I don't want people to talk to me.
Yeah. Look at you, anything.
And it's because, I'm a little fucking, jaded.
You went up the street to the store the other day and you were coming back. People will be crossing the street. Look at me. They don't want any part of that shit.
And I admit, I'm a little jaded. I live in the fucking Bronx. I've been into, I don't know how many fist fights right in front of my fucking school with people in a neighborhood. Like, this is a little rough neighborhood. And I don't have patience. I don't do the whole, I'm just going to let that slide because no, I don't know how to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Who wants to walk around the streets looking weak and looking ready to be preyed upon?
Right.
No one.
And that's the second application.
Yeah.
Prey, the whole saying about, the lion, chases the slowest zebra.
Yeah.
It's like,
don't be the slowest zebra.
Right. And, when you're a man that looks strong, you're somebody that is not to be trifled with. And I would say now more than ever because of the contrast to the little fucking, what does Jack call? Jack Lemmon calls them the elves.
The elves.
The elves.
Yeah.
Right? Or the salamanders or the fucking, the leaves. We have fucking a million.
Yeah.
Whatever. So when you see, a guy nowadays that's walking around, like I remember I was in an elevator at a mall maybe a month or two ago, and up in Westchester, and we're going from the parking level to the top retail level, 4 or 5, fucking floors, whatever.
Yeah,
and it's a 20-second ride, and I'm standing in the elevator. And I'm standing right where the door opens. So as soon as the door opens, I'm the one that's there.
Yeah.
So the door opens at the top, and there's somebody standing there waiting. And I like fucking idiots. Like they never assume somebody's about to get off the elevator, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to stand like this is a whole nother fucking thing.
Yeah, you have to let people off.
Like get out of the fucking way.
Yeah, how are you going to get in if I'm here?
But the whole thing was they came and they were in front of me and the guy that was next to me in the elevator. Like they were right shoulder, like offset perfectly in the middle of us. So the guy, when he saw me, stepped right in front of the guy I was standing next to let me go out.
That's
almost
funny.
as if he was going to kiss him.
Yeah,
he was like,
please just.
He was like, we stand
like, oh
together, we
God,
look like a bigger man.
That's
It's fucking hysterical.
And that's by design, you being the first one.
Right. Well, that's so.
Yeah, it's
the whole
it's a little note for the listeners.
So the whole thing is,
yeah,
I
that's how you want to look. You want to scare the shit out of people.
Right. then that's what number 4 is about. You don't waste time being harassed. People tend to fuck with you a lot less, and they tend to take you at your word a lot earlier in a communication.
Yeah,
True. Know? When you look like somebody who takes care of himself.
Who's not to be fucked with.
Right.
You know.
So, and mind you, like, I'm not talking about walking around looking like you're about to stab a motherfucker.
No.
Just when you see somebody that lifts weights, that has muscles, that looks strong.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not trying to fag this up at all by saying there's different ways that we can look strong. No. Looks like he can lift heavy shit.
Yeah,
right?
A serious
looks like he
guy.
can grab a motherfucker.
Yeah, someone who's serious, who's not to really fuck with.
Right. But you can get serious that looks like, the fucking guy looks like you get some guys that just look fucking nuts,
Yeah.
Like you get the right guy giving you the De Niro. Like the De Niro is enough. We're like, all right, this guy looks like he's fucking got a screw loose. That's not what we're talking about.
No, not at all.
We're talking about the guy that's, all right, this guy will slap the shit out of me and it'll hurt if I request violence.
Yeah, this guy built the Eiffel Tower with steel and brawn.
Right, exactly. Brawn. So number 3.
Number 3, attract women.
But what do you mean attract women?
I
thought we're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to worry about getting laid.
Yeah, well, we're not.
Oh.
It's not about getting laid.
Part of being a man and looking like a strong man, because men are supposed to look strong, is that you attract women.
Yes.
And I don't mean females. I don't mean these fucking femisluts, these what other insults can we put towards
Hooah.
These hooahs. I'm talking about a woman who appreciates what a masculine man represents, and can give her.
Yeah, a strong woman.
And that's the whole thing. I don't like using strong woman. I don't like using that. Because what does that mean? I would say a manly man is strong.
Yeah.
I don't know if a feminine woman is strong. So I don't know if that's what we lead with.
Yeah, I understand. What would you say?
I don't know. I never really thought about it.
To be determined.
I don't know. That's somebody else's fucking podcast problem, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I guess.
Right. So, so the whole thing.
You can always say, for lack of a better term, strong.
Yeah, that's ours.
To be determined.
So, well, we'll put it this way: if we do, it's strong in different ways.
Yeah, of course,
and not in ways that it's not the context that we're using.
Yeah,
I'm talking about strong physically.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Right, I'm not talking about that either with them. So, I shared that.
It's a whole different thing.
I shared that video the other day.
Yeah,
right. The lady's name was Torah Cents, I think.
Okay.
Torah Cents, like dollars and cents.
Yeah.
Torah. I don't know how to spell Torah, but like Jewish.
Yeah, sure. Like the Torah.
It's Torah.
Yeah. Or it might be 2 R's. No, just one R.
I don't care about it. I'm talking about her name.
Okay.
My fault. I didn't make that clear. Torah, her name is Torah cents, like dollars and cents. I'm almost certain that's what it is.
Cool.
Anyway, I found a video. I came across it like we always do. We either, we get sent these videos. And this is another thing that I'm learning. Like when we get a video that's very like Pressure Project friendly, like some manly cool shit, everybody sends it to us in messages. Yeah. And it's to the point where if I don't share it, people just keep sending it. So now it's like this.
6 or 7 people sent the same video.
You'll see sometimes I'll share something that's really cool at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Understand, I mean, the way fucking social media works that we have to pay attention to, like posting times are important. So a lot of times you post something 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, nobody's going to fucking see it.
Yeah.
But when I do that, it's because everybody's sending me these fucking videos, and it's like, I got to share it, or they're going to keep, because they think I don't know about it, and they want me to know about it.
Yeah, of course.
It's a good thing. They're trying to hook us up.
More information, the better.
Right. And so, we got to have that feedback where it's like, all right, here, I'm going to share it. Anyway, so I found a video, and this lady, she's awesome. She's talking about why strong women, and this is another thing. She talks about strong women.
Yeah.
And
that's her definition of it.
Right. But it's probably the more commonly used definition of it.
It is.
Strong women has been morphed into being independent women.
I was just going to say, that doesn't.
And that's where we'd fuck up, you know? Independent women are women who don't need anybody.
Yeah.
Women who don't need anybody have a hard time giving up independence to become vulnerable. And I don't want to make this into one of those fucking talks, but because I got some shit to say about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, what she's talking about is having a man who's strong and being able to appreciate that as a woman, and the benefits of having that, and going the opposite way, the way that women sabotage themselves by trying to be the strong ones, and either getting men who don't want to deal with their nonsense, or only have the time and energy to deal with the nonsense that they don't get to anything good, or they get these effeminate, weak men.
Who would want that?
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Unless
this is why everybody gets divorced.
Yeah, true.
Right? So you have the whole thing. Now, you've been divorced.
Yeah.
But your divorce was, I'm not going to fucking sit here and comment on your divorce. But your divorce, I will at least just bear witness to saying it has nothing to do with, you being weak or even her being weak. It's just, right now you're in a much better situation.
Yeah.
All right. For everybody.
Yeah, of course.
So when
that's the funny thing when it happened, people are like, yo, I'm sorry. Like, why?
Yeah, like
everyone's cool is the best thing for everybody.
Right.
Right.
So we're when we're talking about this lady Tora's video, she gives a great sort of other side of the conversation by explaining what it's like to women.
Yeah.
Or from a woman's perspective, how she can appreciate, a strong man. Right. So when we say attract women, we mean attract women of quality.
Yeah. Attract a positive situation that's going to increase your strength, not diminish it.
Right. So number two,
earn the respect of men.
Earn the respect of men. So now you have to understand there's a difference between trying to impress men for sort of acceptance sake, and doing things that are manly, that are qualified as being manly by the respect of other men.
Yeah.
All right. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
I don't want all these men to be my friend. No. I'm doing some shit that's manly. How do I know it's manly? Because the men that I respect and say what I'm doing is manly.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of, it's a brotherhood that it's almost quality control. It's masculinity quality control.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah. When we're doing some manly shit, like everyone reacts and wants to be a part of it. Like at the picnics, we started doing some fucking feats of strength and throwing fucking javelins, spears,
yeah, like crazy shit.
Axe fucking throw.
Right. We have awesome. the headhunter with the fucking foam
swords.
Yeah,
like everyone, the people who are kind of like, I don't know.
Melees.
Yeah.
Oh man, one of the things we do in a gathering, right? Once a year, the Jungle Gym has its gathering, and it's yearly. It's a picnic.
It's a picnic with awesome shit going on.
Cool. It's too cool to call it a picnic.
Yeah, no, that's why it's the gathering.
And one of the things we do is the melee.
Yeah.
And the melee, the first time I've ever done a melee was at a Sayak Sama.
Correct.
And I was like, this is the coolest thing
that
has
awesome.
ever been invented ever.
Yeah.
And this is like, Xbox from the Middle Ages, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has a foam sword, a foam stick, whatever. And you create these sides, and the only way you can kill people is with headshots.
Yeah, and those things, like you say foam, but the one they have plastic.
Oh yeah, they're PVC core,
yeah,
and
like
we got quality ones. Like
you can split someone's shit open with that.
So it's just amazing, and it's a great sort of team builder. The whole, and women participate. But it's like one of these things where everybody that participates understands this is something that they innately are enamored with, and they may not understand why in the beginning, but as they do it, they realize this brings out aspects of who they are that the otherwise don't get good reps sort of cultivating.
Yeah, well, it's funny because like when we first get there, a couple guys go off and play basketball, some people are throwing a football around, but no one's paying attention to that. Once we start even just to mention those games, everybody starts to pay attention. The women, everyone comes. No one gives a fuck that they're playing basketball, but everybody wants to see us. Throwing the kettlebell.
The race, the farmer's walk race with the kettlebells. People love that shit.
Yeah, everyone watches, and they're all into it.
Right. So number two, earn the respect.
Earn the respect of men.
Number one reason.
Yeah, number one reason. Lead with masculinity.
Right. So lead with masculinity. Now, the number one reason you want to look like a man.
Yeah.
And when we talk about looking like a man, we said looking strong, looking like, you're somebody who takes, strength development seriously. Somebody who wants to be able to handle the man's or masculine responsibilities in a group of people.
Yeah.
The reason you want to lead with masculinity. So what does that mean, lead with masculinity? It's your first impression.
Yeah, best foot forward.
It's your best foot forward. It's also the one sort of aspect of masculinity that can be started early on and without a more developed sense of what masculinity is.
Yeah.
Right? So my son's 8. Your son's going to be 8 in a couple of weeks.
Correct.
They're going to start weightlifting.
Yeah.
So now what does that mean? Everyone's going to lose their fucking minds. He's 8. He's going to stunt his growth.
Of course.
First of all, my sons are going to be midgets anyway, but that's more genetic than anything. They're going to be doing it safely. They're going to learn so that when, their balls drop when they're fucking 13, 14 years old and we start getting a little fucking natural testosterone going,
yep.
They're going to be pushing some weight.
Yeah,
right?
And they're going to be ready. Their form will be good.
Right. They'll be perfect.
Yeah, they'll have no problem. It'll actually help them because they won't get hurt.
And it's something they'll have in common. Yet another thing they will have in common.
A manly thing.
With men of respect.
Yeah.
So imagine our 8-year-old sons being able to talk, to some of these powerlifters that we know. And it's about form, about squat form.
Yeah, come out to a meet and be like,
and know what's going on.
Not be confused.
Having my son at my powerlifting meet that I went to, that was amazing.
It was awesome.
He was like, it was like fucking superheroes. Everyone screaming, he loved it. So, when we talk about lead with masculinity, strength is one of the building blocks of building your legacy as a man. Individually and amongst men.
Yep.
Right. I don't like hanging out with guys that don't work out.
Yeah, no.
Right. Everybody here works out.
Yeah.
We started the sort of meme, in the school here. And we have a couple hundred students, a few hundred students, and I'm not saying every one of the students works out here, but the coaches, the fighters, the people that work here, everybody understands that lifting is a part of who we are. It's a part of what we do.
Yeah, it's one of the core things that we do.
Right. Absolutely. And you see it has an effect on guys like AJ. Let's give AJ a shout out. Right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
AJ, student of mine. We own Mat Notes together, and AJ is, how much do you think he weighs? Like maybe
125 pounds.
125 pounds.
Yeah.
If he had a kettlebell on his back,
he has a hamburger in his mouth.
I think I may be able to throw AJ from here to Manhattan.
It's possible.
And I don't even mean a shot put.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I could fold him properly.
And fly him like a plane?
Just let him glide his ass from the roof all the way to Manhattan.
That's possible.
So AJ's pretty narrow.
Yeah.
He's narrow of bone.
Yeah.
Right. That's
he doesn't have avian bone syndrome.
Right. But
he's narrow.
If there was an avian bird bone syndrome impersonator contest, he would do it,
Yeah.
So I don't know, AJ, great dude. Strong-minded, has been making progress every day here.
Yeah, he's been lifting.
And you don't know, maybe, his family comes from a long line of predatory birds. His grandfather was an eagle.
It's possible.
You don't know. You don't know people's backstories.
True. Yeah,
I'm busting his balls, but I love AJ.
AJ's cool.
And AJ lifts now.
And he works hard.
He works hard.
Yeah.
He lifts, he takes it seriously. We wrote a program out for him and he sticks to it. And it's yet another thing that AJ has in common with all the other men.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect example of, and AJ, homeowner, married, kids.
He's got his shit together.
Got his shit together. Great dude.
Fucking trains hard.
So it's not like he was a loser until, he started hanging out with us. No, it's just that now he's managed to cultivate these things that he has in common with men that he otherwise never would have sort of bridged that gap.
Yeah.
He's
just improving himself. you know?
Right. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So lead with masculinity. So in let's review them.
Summation.
In summation, I'm going to read from 5 to 1.
Okay.
Number 5, and these are the top reasons why you want to look like a man. Number 5, you don't look like a woman. Number 4, you don't waste time being harassed. Number 3, you attract women of value, women of quality. Grade A, P said. Number 2, earn the respect of men.
Yes.
And number 1, lead with masculinity. These are the reasons.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Pat and I decided, we came up with this list. If you guys agree, let us know. If you don't or would like to add something, or maybe you swap it around a little bit, let us know too. We're interested in getting the feedback.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So let's move on to the mantle.
Yes.
I remember.
I wasn't going to say nothing.
So now, the whole time we're talking about this, I'm trying to not bring this up.
Yeah, it's
because
tough.
so much of this is this. So the article that I mentioned before, right? Stephen McDonald's article on PJ Media. He starts the article off with a Mark Ripperto quote, and I'll have you read the article to read the quote. I don't want to.
Yeah, we'll be on the show notes.
Yeah,
page.
go check out the article. Do the guy a favor. It's a great read. Quick read.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But he talks about Mark Ripperto, and Mark Ripperto is somebody who I'd like to have on the podcast. I think we'll have him on eventually.
That'd be awesome.
We have a bunch of mutual friends.
Cool. Let's make it happen.
And has a lot of good stuff to say about a lot of things. He himself, pretty successful powerlifter. He's down in Wichita Falls, Texas.
Nice.
And that's where Guru Harley is from. That's, that's why we have so many mutual friends. And he's a great mind for sort of installing information in people that may otherwise be almost unattainable. And this book here, Starting Strength, is a book that I bought. Now, I've been lifting weights, for over 25 years. So I'm not handing you this. What are you doing?
I was going to take it.
Fucking
I was going to read it.
No, you can read it right. So I've been lifting weights for a long time, and take my juice. And it's rare that I read something from somebody or I hear somebody talk about lifting weights that
I was still thinking about taking it.
Jesus Christ, what am I gonna do?
I'm good.
So you want to hold something? Give you a little fucking rattle.
I got my paper.
So it's rare that I read something or hear something that like sort of adds a whole nother sort of depth and level of understanding of something. Now, I'm very used to following the experts, in powerlifting, bodybuilding, Olympic lifting, where they add these sort of tips and insights and takes on concepts that allow me a better understanding of of a particular idea.
Yeah.
But Mark Ripperto does a great job of not only, creating a great sort of mindset for strength, but he also has a great, almost modular approach to teaching strength. And
that's awesome.
I can't recommend the book, enough. It's really a great book. One of the things he starts with, and this is what I wanted to read, and this tells you a little bit about Mark Ripperto, is in his preface. No, is it the preface? No. Okay, yeah. So Strength Winehouse, I guess it's the first chapter. I'm just going to read the first couple of sentences. Physical strength is the most important thing in life. How's that for an opening sentence?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Physical strength is the most important thing in life. And, you
just throwing that out there.
You think you can't outdo it, and then he leads up with the second sentence. This is true whether we want it to be or not.
Yeah, legit.
So this is how the book starts. And he is somebody who has the philosophy that sort of goes hand in hand with the information and the ability to be garnered from this information.
Yeah. So
that's one of the reasons why I have this book. One of the reasons we decided to put it on the mantle today for this episode. And it's definitely something that people should have. Now, Mark Ripperto he gets a lot of shit from people for a lot of different reasons. And number one, because people are fucking whiny little bitches.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good reason.
But number two, he very, very similar to the Pressure Project, I would say. He's somebody that if he thinks it, he says it.
Yep.
He doesn't give a fuck who it pisses off. He was a part of the CrossFit movement early on and eventually parted ways over, disagreements with, the way that they were doing the programming.
Yeah.
And there's a whole slew of reasons. If we have him on, I'd love to have him talk about it. But the thing is, he's somebody who sticks by what he says, somebody who has a very rational, very sort of articulate approach to conveying his information. He doesn't go off, when he's in the middle of a sort of debate on a particular topic, or subject. He's a guy that has so much research and information behind each one of his positions that he's a pleasure to listen to. So Mark Ripito. And he was also, like I said, that article started with a quote with Mark Ripito. I don't know if it was out of this book. It could have been. But Mark Ripito is a guy that tends to talk in like these manly quotes,
Yeah.
I like to be able to have as potent communication as I can with people. So a lot of times I try to talk in very quotable ways.
Yeah.
And he's somebody that certainly has embraced that.
That's awesome.
So now the unicorn.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, Phil. He's the pressure player.
By the way, at some point during that, I was
transition.
supposed to say he was also a pressure player.
Yeah.
So imagine everything I just said it again.
Correct.
Right? Mark Ripito, great fucking dude. Talk about looking like a man. It's kind of hard to find somebody who is sort of better suited to be a pressure player because there are a lot of guys that look like men there. We know fucking great powerlifters, strong men.
Yeah.
We've had a bunch on the podcast before. But he's somebody that actually espouses the inherent value in looking like a man.
Yeah, because if he's saying that physical strength is the most important thing,
right?
By seeking physical strength, you will look like a man.
Right. So
Hand
he's
in
the
hand.
guy that
Yeah.
it's that whole position goes hand in hand with any of his philosophies concerning actually, lifting weights.
Correct. So definitely a good pressure player. Makes sense. Mantle transition into pressure player.
Right. I got to do a better job there next time. So, unicorn.
The unicorn.
These fucking faggots.
Yeah.
The unicorn. Social justice warriors. Now, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Right? So, get ready. This is a thing. SJWs. That's the initials.
Sounds like a boy band.
Yeah. So, social justice warriors. Who are they? They're the people that find a reason to complain. They are people that refuse to become strong, but dare you to call them weak.
Correct.
They're people that want attention in place of achievement. They're the generation of participation trophy winners.
Yep.
They're the people,
The 4th place medal.
right? They're the people who find a way to sabotage anything in today's society that has any sort of passion or principle-driven sort of energy behind it. And the term was used prominently in this whole Gamergate thing.
Yeah.
Now we gotta have somebody on to talk about this because it started off as something like, I don't know, fucking. I play video games every day,
Yeah.
right? Every day I play Call of Duty
Yeah.
on Xbox One. So I used to play Halo every day.
Yeah.
In college and shortly after college, every day was Madden.
Madden.
Then Halo every day.
Yeah.
And then one day, one of my former students said, you should try Call of Duty. I was like, yeah, Halo, plasma grenades, they fucking stick to you.
Yeah.
I had this whole thing.
Sword.
So he goes, no, you just got to try it. So I tried it. Never played Halo again. Now I play Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty an hour or two almost every day.
It's a lot of fun.
It's my catharsis.
I recently started playing.
Well, I kept on fucking yelling at you. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, so do I consider myself a gamer? I play games.
You're pretty good at
an hour to 2 hours a day. I'm pretty decent at it.
Yeah.
And I've played games my entire life, starting with the Atari 2600 back in the day, in the 80s. So with Gamergate, it was this whole sort of, you have the feminists and the white knights who collectively form this group of social justice warriors.
Yeah.
Who want to complain about every little fucking thing that they think they can complain about. If you have a character in a fucking game that could punch a woman in the face, fucking violence against women. That game promotes violence against women.
Well, you punch men too.
It's like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You can go back to fucking Pac-Man and make him look like he's fucking, eating one of the ghosts' ass if you do it properly.
I've never experienced that version of Pac-Man.
Listen, you got to have a little creativity, right?
Sure.
So the thing is, you could fucking slant that shit any way you want if all you're trying to do is slant some shit the way you want to.
I saw a thing where it was a game where the guy went to a strip club to like assassinate somebody. And
Hitman, I think it was Hitman.
And they were complaining that the strippers were strippers at the strip club. Like,
and like,
what the fuck?
And that there are options. I used to play Hitman.
Yeah, cool.
There are options that where you don't have to like assault any women to get through a board.
You can kill them if you want to.
But it's almost like rewarded to hit the women and like do all these other. And it's like, there's a certain point where the politically correct generation are these fucking faggots.
Yeah.
So
in that game, you're playing a fucking hitman that kills people.
Right. So all of that, never mind all of that.
Yeah. He's not delivering flowers.
Right. So it's like the people who complained about Superman that when he caught Lois, that he would have broke her spine, he would have ran right through it. It's like, so the whole guy from Krypton that could fly, you're okay with that.
That part's cool.
It's the inertia of, anyway.
And
So
you can't have sex with her because you kill her.
Right. So like this is,
but that's all bullshit.
All right. So
I don't believe any of that stuff.
You're going down a path.
Yeah.
Don't go down a path. So you get these people, these social justice warriors, as illustrated in the Gamergate controversy, that have nothing to do but find a cause, invent a cause that allows them to do what? Garner attention.
Yeah. Try to get popular.
Narcissism.
Yeah.
Right? The selfie generation. We're the selfie generation.
I refuse to.
So I had somebody tell me, like, look at you complaining about selfies. It was a friend of mine busting my balls. And he goes, you have more pictures of your face online than fucking anybody I know. I said, listen, when you're me, you become a brand.
That's a very valid point.
So the whole thing is, not to sound like a dick, but my face, the Pressure Project, the logo, like all that, we're trying to create a movement here. And that requires, me putting my face. Believe me, I know I'm not a model.
Well, it's not like you're ever like, hey, I'm eating linguine. Fucking
right.
Like, it's different.
And that,
I'm in my car. Like,
and that's the narcissism that's associated with these types of people. So you have the Gamergate thing was a perfect example of that. Yeah. You have these are the people that complain about sexism and racism in everything. In sports, these are the people, these are the Title IX people. These are the people that, there needs to be a women's wrestling team if there's a men's wrestling team. There needs to be a women's basketball team if there's a man's basketball team. It's this, just because the men are doing it, the women should be doing it. Yeah. When the desire, the push, the demand may not reflect that at all. So it's sort of barring the common sense approach to dealing with these issues and infusing these PC-armed narcissists that are looking nothing but to cause some shit and garner attention for themselves.
Yeah, they want to have the women's sperm donor bank.
Right. It's exactly, they want to create something that is not based in reality.
Yeah, no.
They're fixing problems that don't exist.
They're creating problems.
And they start with the solution, and then they create the problem if need be.
Yeah.
But all the while trying to become, these these sort of attention getting fucking entities.
Yeah, they try to take the effect and make it the cause.
Right. So now why are they a unicorn in an episode like Look Like a Man? Because Look Like a Man means you're doing things that require effort. You know, whether it be lifting weights, taking care of yourself, learning how to fight, a combination of the three. It's really you're going through a sort of process based in pressure, resistance.
Yeah.
You know, you're overcoming obstacles, and it's like, you know, you failed recently on a squat PR.
Yeah.
Your attitude or your opinion of what that weight was is irrelevant.
Correct.
How much you think it's unfair that weight didn't go up is irrelevant.
I don't think that, for the record.
Right. I know that. And I know that. And obviously none of this applies to you. But the whole thing is, just to use that to illustrate a point, it's one of the great things about lifting weights is the weights don't lie.
They do not lie.
They don't lie.
It either goes up or it does not.
So, you know, why can't I squat 500 pounds? Because you're not strong enough.
Yeah.
There's no other reason.
Correct.
And that's one of the great things about lifting weights. It's one of the great things about, you know, becoming strong and looking like a man. You know, you are somebody who is sort of forged on pressure.
Yeah. It's a great equalizer.
That's connected to reality.
Yes.
You know, and the anchor in reality is what sets these things apart from these fucking little fucking fluffy fagotron motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Social justice warriors. So the whole notion of social justice warrior, like the term, like I didn't know what the fuck that was. I had to look that up, but I started seeing it more and more and more. And it's like, all right, so it's the like sort of white knights of feminism with the feminists, with the people who fucking cry wolf for everything under the sun that they think
everything's
is oppressive.
racism.
The Occupy Wall Street movement.
Yeah.
You know, how you start with, you know, everything that it started with, which is like fucking bailouts and, you know, banks fucking people over and taxes and
Ponzi.
And, you know, a lot of shit, you know, that, you know, you can get behind. But how it winds up being these people that are in a fucking Starbucks on their iPhone, you know, hashtagging and tweeting about how they're protesting at the Occupy, like not understanding the inherent hypocrisy in who they are and what they're doing. But they don't care as long as they get followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they want to make everyone equal and eradicate racism. And
right.
More times than not, they're taking a situation and they're putting a spin on it to garner attention.
And it's like the beauty pageant contestant who says she wants to, you know, end world hunger.
Yes, world peace.
You know, I want to create world peace. And as a stupid fucking, you know, airhead piece of ass in a dress, I'm going to somehow end hunger you know, around the world. It's like, this is shit that people like want you to say because, you know, what the fuck else do we want to hear you say?
Well, it's cute when a 5-year-old says it.
It's adorable when a 5-year-old says it, you know, but, you know, like these people in this particular movement, the social justice warriors, they're the people that say the things. Then what they're saying is solely based on how much attention they're going to get.
100%.
You know,
very self-serving.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, we live in such a PC society, and the sort of niches that they fucking fester in like termites are these niches that are filled with this PC fucking generation.
Yeah,
you know, these people that won't tell them to go fuck themselves. You know,
Because if you do, then you're a sexist or you're a racist or some other bullshit.
And like I welcome the opportunity. Invite me someplace to tell some fucking guy to go fuck himself. So look, MC, nobody wants to tell this guy he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Nobody has, well, can you please show? Absolutely. I'll get there. We'll go in there in the fucking pressure mobile.
That sounds like fun.
And go there. Look, you're the guy. Yeah. It turns out everybody here thinks you're a fucking asshole. You know,
that'd be a good television show.
But this is what I'm talking about. This is now, you know, what society has become. You know, they go into these sort of realms, right? These herds, these tribes where they're completely safe to take over.
Yeah.
You know? So one of the metaphors, I guess not a metaphor, but the analogies that I could think of is they say when the conquerors came from Europe into the Americas.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that, like in Puerto Rico, right? Puerto Rico, you had the indigenous Taino Indians, right? The Taino natives, and they were known in his writings, in travelers like logs and journals that describe these people as kind, generous, and open armed to a fault.
Yeah.
Like these people could very easily be taken over whenever we want. And their intentions are pure. These people are good people, but they just don't have, that aspect of their character that allows them to protect themselves from threats. They don't have the means by which to cast out intruders that don't belong in their tribe. And I see a lot of these groups that become infiltrated by these types of people as groups like that.
Yeah, it makes
Right?
sense.
Makes sense, right? So, good episode.
Yeah.
Great
legit.
episode. Fucking look like a man.
Yeah.
If you're wearing little skinny jeans, there's a reason why I don't wear skinny jeans.
Why?
Because my thighs are fucking 32 inches.
Yeah,
Because I squat over 600 pounds.
that makes sense.
Because I'm not a fucking faggot.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we don't carry ourselves in an androgynous manner.
Yeah.
Not only is it going to affect negatively our experience dealing with the world, but it's also now sabotaging the generation that's coming up behind us.
It is.
I have to be a man as a model of masculinity for my sons.
100%. Yeah, you have to be.
You have to be a man as a model of masculinity for yours.
Correct.
What a good friend of ours was talking about, and I think I brought this up before, was talking about, he has 2 girls, and he was talking about, why they need to see him do manly things.
Yeah.
And he talks about the importance of defining what a man is to his daughters, because that is going to be the sort of the standard by which they judge men in the future.
And they'll be able to smell and point out weakness very quickly and avoid it like the plague.
Right. He talks about, you don't guarantee your daughter marries a good man by telling her who she can and can't marry. You do it by giving her such a pure, strong standard of what a man is that she will never settle for less.
Yeah, she wouldn't accept anything else.
Right.
Rejecting all weakness.
Absolutely. So it's not only, for sons, but for daughters, it's just as important.
It is.
All right. Good episode, Pat. Break it down.
Okay. Look like a man. Well, what that means is as a man, you should be a man. You should act like a man. You should think like a man. You should fight like a man. And your appearance, you should look like you know how to handle yourself. You should look like a serious guy. You should look like someone that no one should fuck with you. By doing that, you'll naturally attract women. By hitting up this whole list, you earn the respect of your peers. And overall, you're seeking strength just by your very actions. They say, wear the suit of the job you want, not the suit the job you have. Meaning, if you want to be powerful, you have to put on that persona. You have to focus on that. You have to pursue that. And by doing so, you will become powerful.
Well said. If we're going to be strong, it's something that we have to do first as individuals, but next do as brothers. We can't have the accolades and the benefits of a strong brotherhood without us individually first taking it upon ourselves, the obligation, responsibility of becoming more of a man. Physical strength had a much more practical application and use in generations past. But what is thrown by the wayside nowadays is the fact that the secondary benefits, all the other benefits that we got from being strong are now being dismissed because the practical applications no longer exist. When you know what hard work is, and it could be lifting weights, it could be baling hay. One of the things Ripito talks about, with kids lifting weights, he says, what are these people talking about that kids can't lift? You think the kids haven't been baling hay, piles of hay, half their body weight from the time they're 7, 8 years old. So whether it comes to lifting weights, baling hay, shoveling, sweeping, throwing out the garbage, you don't want to ever have strength be the one thing that holds you back from being accepted into a strong brotherhood.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because strength is the one thing you could fucking take care of on your own.
That's true. Yeah.
Thank you, folks, for listening to this episode. Great talk as always. I enjoyed having the talk. I enjoyed sharing it with you guys. As a reminder, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get it up to 100K, and we can't do that alone. And I've already made the promise to not hire Filipino robots.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that. So whatever you see is going to be our actual subscription count. We appreciate you guys spending the time sharing the power with us, and we look forward to speaking to you on the next episode. ThePressureProject.com is our website. Info@ThePressureProject.com is our contact email. YouTube.com/ThePressureProject is our YouTube channel.
Yep.
So it should be easy to find. Under the videos, you'll see a subscribe button. Just hit that.
Yeah.
If you don't have an account, you need one.
Yep. Sign in, make one.
Sign in, subscribe.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up.
That's everything.
All right, guys. So thank you again. Remember to look for the links for the article. I will put a link for Mark's book here. And as always, brothers, pressure to power.